Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
So we continue our reading of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 2, verse 61. Avatari Narayana Krishna Avatara Tenya Shatubhuja Inham Manusha Akara Avatari Narayana Krishna Avatara Avatari Narayana Krishna Avatara Tenya Chaturbhuja Hinya Manusha Bhakara Tenya Chaturbhuja Hinya Manusha Hakara Avatari Narayana Krishna Avatara Tenya Chaturbhuja Hinya Manusha Hakara Avatari Narayana Krishna Avatara Tenya Chaturbhuja Hinya Manusha Bhakara
Avatari Narayana Krishna Avatara Tena Chaturbhuja Ina Manushaka Tena Chaturbhuja Ina Manushaka Avatari Narayana Krishna Avatar Avatari Narayana Krishna Avatar Tena Chaturbhuja Ina Manushaka Tena Chaturbhuja Ina Manushaka Avatari Narayana Krishna Avatar Avatari Narayana Krishna Avatar Tena Chaturbhuja Inha Manushaka Tena Chaturbhuja Inha Manushaka
Mataji
Avatari Narayana Krishna Avatar
Avatari Narayana Krishna Avatar
Tena Chaturbhuja Ina Manusya Akar
Tena Chaturbhuja Ina Manushaka
Avatari Narayana Krishna Avatar
Tena Chaturbhuja Ina Manushaka
Avatari Source of Incarnation
Source of Incarnation
Narayana
Narayana
Lord Narayana
Lord Narayana
Krishna
Krishna
Lord Krishna
Lord Krishna
Avatara
Avatara
Incarnation
Incarnation
Denya
That
That Chaturbhuja
Chaturbhuja
4 arms
Four arms
Inya
Inya
This
This
Manusha
Manusha
like a man
Like a man
Akara
Akara
4
Four
Translation and purport by His Living Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Because Narayana has 4 hands, whereas Krishna looks just like a man, they say that Narayana is the original God, whereas Krishna is but an incarnation. Purport. Some scholars argue that Narayana is the original personality of Godhead, of whom Krishna is an incarnation, because Sri Krishna has 2 hands, whereas Narayana has 4. Such unintelligent scholars do not understand the feature of the Absolute. Tu comprends le français et l'anglais? Ça va? Ok. En anglais, ça va être facile à comprendre. Amaganati Vinandasya Gananjala Sharakara Shatchurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shiguravi Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shtapitam Mena Bhutare Swarya Rupa Kadamadyanadati Swaparantikam Hare Krishna Karina Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakarpataru Vyarcha Kripa Sindhu Yaiva Chapatitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gum Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, in all these verses, Krishna Das Kaviraj is the author of the book, ascertained the position of Lord Krishna as avataric, the origin of all avatars, and at the same time ascertain the position of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it takes quite a lot of verses to approve that, with some reference to other texts like Srimad Bhagavatam, also other Puranas, and here the author explains that it's not because Krishna has just two hands like an ordinary man, that he is coming from Narayan. Because of the number of arms. Because some people, they argue from this point of view, that because Narayana has 4 arms, then Krishna, because he has 2, then emanates from Lord Narayan. Whilst it's the opposite. It is clearly stated in all Vedic literature that Krishna is the origin of all other avatars. And like this verse of Brahma Samhita, enunciated by Lord Brahma himself, Nanavataram Makaram Bhuvanesham Kintu Krishna Swayam Samabhavam Paramam Pumamu. Krishna is the origin. There is so many avatars like waves of an ocean, but Krishna Swayam, Krishna is originally the Supreme Personality of God, only Krishna. So because people have some mental concoction, some false argument like that, they create false remorse, false indication that actually Narayan is the origin of the Supreme, of all other incarnations. So quite a lot of people in South India particularly are addicted, and because it's a custom like that, it has been transmitted from generation and generation. They are worshipping Lakshmi Narayan. A lot of people are accustomed like that. So they have not so much knowledge of who is Lord Krishna, and they have some apprehension as to explain how Lord Krishna is a lampato. Apparently a debauchee that is running in the night, in the dead of night, with damsels of Vrindavan. So, because they see it from an external point of view. I remember one time I was like that, in a flow, waiting for an extension of a visa, and one guard was there, and he approached me because I was in Vaishnav garb, and he said to me, I don't understand why you are worshipping Lord Krishna, who is running with damsels at night, the wives of other people. We try to hide it, putting it aside, it's not moral. And he was seeing like that in a superficial point of view. So I tried to explain to him that the relationship of Krishna and the gopi have nothing to do with the relationship of the human beings in between a young boy and a young girl, which is compared like both are metal, but gopis and Krishna is like gold, whilst young girls and young boys is compared with iron. So there's a vast gulf of difference in between gold and iron. Although from far away it looks two metals, but when the value is not the same, the use is not the same, and similarly, Krishna, his pastimes with the dancers have nothing to do with what we can experiment on the earthly plane. So here the author is establishing the supremacy of Lord Krishna in order to explain who is this Chana avatar, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So unless we understand Krishna, it will be difficult to understand who is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If we have the impression that Lord Narayan is the supreme personality of Godhead, then it will be difficult to ascertain the mood and the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Because Lord Chaitanya was especially in the last years in Gambhira, in Jagannath Puri, he was relishing the feelings, the emotions of the gopi in separation from Krishna, and then retrieving them again, and then separation. Vipralamba and Sambhoga alternatively. So each one give food to the other one. Separation and meeting. So this was the food of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Or to taste the spiritual emotion of being reunited with Srimati Radharani and the gopi, and the lamentation, where are they? Like this prayer of the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, where are they, Lord Krishna? And they were crying on the side of Radhakund. When will I meet them again? Where are they now? So this crying of the heart is the food of the advanced devotee who are following right in the footsteps of Rupa Goswami, who is himself following in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there's quite a big trail, a big road to go to understand the intimate feelings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because he concentrates on the inner heart of Krishna, heart of Krishna, which is the lotus place where Srimati Radharani resides. So to understand the intimacy of Lord Krishna and Srimati Radharani is not such an easy thing. And people are in India more accustomed to the moral conduct of a straight husband with a straight wife, like when they worship Sitaram or Lakshmi Narayana. Everything square, everything nice, everything soaking in ghee. Then for that's the ideal frame of society they'd like to live in. But unfortunately, most people, they they want such a kingdom, but without Ram, without following the rules and regulation. So people are in a more sentimentally attached to Sitaram or Lakshmi Narayan, but they have no idea, or they want to follow from from a distance. They want to follow from a distance. They are attached to the mode of goodness in a way, and they can become enchained, linked to the mode of goodness for a long, long time. Because that's the destiny of people who are too attached to the mode of goodness, they end up in the heavenly planets. Because they neglected the worship of the lotus feet of Radha Krishna or Lakshmi Narayan. Then as a result, they become attached to a kind of life in the goodness where everything is smooth, organized, everybody is at his situation according to the Varnashram Dharma in terms of caste or occupation duties. People in India, because they are pious, are attached to this kind of society, and it is good. It is a good thing. That's why most of religion, they try to induce people in the mode of goodness, trying to settle, how do you say, Varnashramabhas, a shadow of Varnashram Dharma. Because Varnashram Dharma, you're supposed to follow quite some rules. But people are allergic to following rules and regulation. They try to escape under the table or make some arrangement so that they can fulfill their sinful desire. Like this argumentation about meat eating. There is some direction where you will not kill. But what they arrange to do, but it's not just for humans. For cows and animals, we can treat them like stones, no problem. Quite changing now, because this starting to have some realization that the animals suffer. They are not stones. So they try to alleviate the suffering of the animals. But they protect what they protect. They protect the cats, the dogs, but they don't protect the cow, which is much more useful. So the tendency is like that. When the religion becomes corrupt, it gives way to some facilities to sinful activities. And yeah, we've seen in Christianity also. Originally, when the wine was a concentrate of grape juice that was evaporated and diluted with 7 to 8 times with water. But after they found out that was the use of the grapes in the past times, but they found out that with fermentation it was giving some trip, so they adopted. And at the time, the monks themselves, because they have some license to have some field where they could get the crops, but they use it to make it wine, what we know now as wine. But originally they would use this so-called wine as a heavy syrup made of grapes. And later on it became a business of fermenting it and making that we know wine. And eventually the monks became rich because they would do taxless business with wine or spirits extracted from alcohol. Then it became perverted. We see also in the Jewish religion that you can eat animal but without the blood. What a trick! they managed to arrange the scripture in such a way that from no meat eating, you could eat meat, but without the blood, which is possible 10% maybe. So like that, we see that people have a tendency to the priest, the head, the representative of the religion, have a tendency to make it slack, and little by little some misunderstanding appears in the scriptures, and as a result, people they mistrust the scripture because there is no logic, and ultimately they become atheists. They don't care about, because there was too much slack, and you see that people are becoming slack themselves. They don't understand the philosophy. They don't understand how it is important to keep a mind pure in order to soak in the goodness, mode of goodness, in order to be able to grasp what is existing in the mode of upper goodness. Krishna says to Arjuna, Triguna Vishaya Vedanish Triguna Arjuna. He said to him, go ahead on top of the three Vedas that deal mainly with pious activities, with Varnashram Dharma. That's what he is speaking barely, squarely to Arjuna. Don't stay in the state of Varnashram Dharma with just the rule of staying in the mode of goodness, because nothing is secure, nothing is sure in this world. Everything is tottering like a drop of water in a petal of a lotus flower, which is greasy, and the drop is always with the wind trembling, and then it looks to be stable, but it is not. So the situation in the material world is like that. Don't become enamored with the mood of goodness. Don't keep the worship of Lakshmi Narayan going under the rules and the regulation, and trying to escape the ocean of death, birth, old age, etc., disease. People don't take it seriously. They become attached to a kind of Varnashram Dharma. Also, when in this conversation intimating between Ramananda Roy and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, first Ramananda Roy tried to introduce the fact that people have to follow the rules of Varnashram Dharma. Then Lord Chaitanya answered, it is okay, it is not bad, it is advised, yeah, but go ahead, there is nothing else. Then he spoke about Lakshmi Narayan also. And Krishna said, tell me more, I'm more thirsty. I want some more feeling between the devotee who want to become attached to me. Because he recognized worship in the mood of godness, with all rules and regulation, but in order to get into the family of Lord Krishna, we have to do a little more. We have to imbibe ourselves in the mood of the Vrajbasi, the inhabitants of Vrindavan. All spontaneous they are. So the worship of Lord Narayan, Lakshmi Narayan and Sitaram is quite imbued with veneration, admiration of their glories, or they are the creator of this universe, or they transcend, or glories they are. The adoration of Lord Krishna is hampered by this mood of reverence. Krishna appreciates the spontaneous offering of his devotees. So in order to grasp the intimate pastime of Lord Krishna and understand that they are most sublime, we have to partake of the literature given by the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. Like we chant in our prayer, of course, Srila Prabhupada said that the worship that we offer primarily to Lord Krishna on the altar is on the level of Lakshmi Narayan. Because we understand that we have to go to the first canto and understand that Krishna, through his different expansion, created all these stars, all this universal form, all this universe. We have to understand that, at least at the beginning, the position of Lord Krishna as a creator. So imbued with Ishvarya, with reverence and glories. But after some time, some spontaneously must arise, because we are in the footsteps of Rupa Goswami, who was a Manjari, Rupa Manjari. He wrote so many books. The 6 Goswami are actually the main pillars of spontaneous devotional service. They gave us the boat, a special boat for going to Vrindavan. Because it's above the 3 gunas, of course. It's above the world of the Vedas. What literature left the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan deals with the internal exchanges in between Krishna and the Vrajbasi. Particularly the Madhurya Ras, the gopis and Krishna. Of course, we don't want to speak so much in the public about Radharani and the gopis, because people become puzzled. Ordinary public become puzzled and will not understand. But at the same time, if you never speak about these pastimes, we think that Krishna consciousness is just for going to the spiritual world, but not going inside a special swimming pool where we can partake of the intimacy of the Vrajbasi. It is there, it is available, but it is not publicly spoken. We have by ourselves tried to excavate. We are speaking about Kusum Manjari, about Manashiksha. We are speaking about all these books that explain how to go off the trail of ordinary devotion. Prema Vivarta, Govinda Lilamrita. What else? Somebody knows some of the books?
Krishna Bhavanamrita.
Huh?
Krishna Bhavanamrita. Krishna Bhavanamrita is by Vishwanath Chakravarti.
Yeah, I don't know this book. So many other books are like that.
Nectar of Devotion.
Krishna Katamrita,
Nectar of Devotion.
Bhakti Rasamrita
Everything
Sindhu,
is there.
Ujjvala Nilamani, of Rupa Goswami. Mukta Charitra from Raghunath Das Goswami,
Gopal Shampoo,
Gopal Champu, so the Sandarbha given by Jiva Goswami, 6 Sandarbha, it's a huge volume. It's a compilation of so many realization and extract from the Vedas that explain so many aspects of Krishna consciousness. And also the book left by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, then he wrote so many books. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, so many songs, so many books. So we have also through this book we can also understand all the position of Radha Krishna is so intimate and so difficult to grasp, and so of the normal worship of Lakshmi Narayana and Sitaram Lakshmana Hanuman. So here Krishnadas Kaviraj points that we don't see it so much because we practice a kind of devotional service which is a kind of routine and sometimes not really understanding. For example, when we worship Tulasi, we are asking Tulasi, Vrinda Devi, to enter in Vrindavan, to be a Saki Anudata Koro, and make our position that serving Lord Govinda always. We ask him to be a Saki, it's not a simple thing. You know? When we chant the Samsara prayer of the morning, we glorify the spiritual master who is supposed to take us by the end and participating in his pastime. Nikunjayu no Natikeli Sidyai Yayali Biriyuktira Peshaniya. In the Nikunj, in the bushes of Vrindavan, Madhurya Lila also. It's intimate, but it is here, and we must not think that it is out of our grasp. After years and years and years of practicing Krishna consciousness, we have to take interest in those books also. So this verse is important to understand, like we have to go beyond ordinary religion, go beyond ordinary devotional service, and make our service more spontaneous and more personal to Krishna. Because the impression that people have in their mind when they practice some kind of religion or like that is the idea that Krishna is the supreme, Krishna is the or Godhead or Yahweh or Allah is the supreme, the greater. When you see he is the greater, it means there is others that are not so great. So this concept of Aishwarya, the greatest, the biggest, we have to go ahead of that. That's why the first canto, the two first canto, they elaborate on this point of view. Or Krishna is gigantic, the gigantic cosmic form, emanating from Mama Teja Mksha Sambhavan. Everything that emanates from me, c'est comment ça s'appelle? Yajat Vibhutimat Shatvat Shrimad Vijitya Tattva Tattat Vatarot Vajatman Mama Teja Sambhavan. Everything that is marvelous, beautiful, emanate, know it, oh Arjuna, from just a drop of my power. It's nothing. So when the drop comes, where is the ocean? The ocean is the loving exchange of Radha and Krishna. It's an ocean. But you have to swim deep to find the jewels. Like Guru Govinda Swami was saying, don't stay in the surface of this ocean. You will find just small ships and hulks. If you want to find the jewels, because according to the Veda, pearls and jewels are created at the bottom of the ocean, then you have to go deep. You have to know it is underground, and you have to have this knowledge. It is there I want to go. You have to nurture this desire, even if you are unable, but still you must pray for having the desire to go deep. And it's not easy to go deep. We see you need quite to be take some breath, some equipment, and like that. So some requirement is there to go deep, and you have to have also some knowledge of it, and get the desire to go there. Shri Radha Krishna ki
Jai.
Shri Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Maybe some comments or question about this verse?
I have just one question. How to not to take the books of the Goswamis cheaply, because they are dealing with such a high subject?
First you have to know this book exists and are available. Read it in English. It is not for cows, or it's for human, it's for us, for devotees especially, or for ordinary practitioner of religion. It is for the devotees specifically. We see that Bhagavad Gita is oriented for all kinds of spiritualists, but it is particularly aimed at devotees, because the word bhakti is so much spread in so many verses. Then furthermore, in Srimad Bhagavatam, you see stories of so much bhaktas who stress on bhakti and who stress on glorifying the Lord, kirtan. Then Chaitanya Charitamrita then will direct you toward understanding who Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. But the Sri Goswami will give even more details in how to carve our feelings and the mind, how to pray and get the desire to have the company of elevated Vrajbasi. So we may take it cheaply because we read, but we have not the feeling, because the heart is still frame. Hein? On dit comme ça? Still frame. The heart is like stone. But we can, the effect of chanting the Maha Mantra will soften the heart in due course of time. And we have to lament. So many songs are here. When will I be able to appreciate the books of the six Goswamis of Vrindavan? When I will be able to appreciate the sweetness of the chanting of Hare Krishna? When will my aparat, my offenses end up for not coming back definitively? When will I be vaccinated against attraction to the opposite sex, to eating so many nasty food? So that naturally, spontaneously, I will reject these things. Because we follow rules, but the mind is always there. Past memory is there. So it requires mercy, special mercy of Lord Nityananda to kick us with the foot. Get out of this ghostly old remembrance of the past. We finish with that staying in the universe, in the material world. We are not maybe able to partake of the feeling, but we can aspire and cultivate the desire for it and pray for it. With this mood of prayer, little and by little it becomes in depth when we chant Hare Krishna. And we chant with the mood of a mendicant. We need something. We are limited with our past activities, and to liberate us from that, we have to really praise spiritual master and the deity we cherish the most. And it will show. They understand we are in a web, in a net of so many all the desires that we want to get rid of. But in order to, like I said, in order to go to fetch the jewel at the bottom of the ocean of the spiritual feelings, you must understand you must not stay at the surface. You have to have some knowledge. Cultivate this knowledge and cultivate the desire to go deep, and you have to do the effort also. When you do your service, you have to understand you do some service. Not trample on others' service, or not offend other people. And you have to sneak in a way to do your service the most perfectly possible without causing wave on others. Then you pray, you aspire, you cultivate desire, and you will soften the heart. So the world of spiritual life is changing our hard stone heart into a butter-like heart. And sometimes it takes more than one life. It's not a problem. It's a snap in the infinity of the time flowing from time immemorial in the material world. A few years is not so much. But Prabhupada, he was stating that these years are important. Give something to Krishna, at least one lifetime for Krishna, and see the result. So Srila Prabhupada was would start with people in a very low level, but little by little elevate them, little by little. We have to keep going on, keep going on, keep going. Like that.
Thank you, Lord.
Hare Krishna. Antaraj Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki, Shri Prabhupada ki.
Thank you very much.
Michael.
C'est une bonne étape d'arriver à faire son service sans embêter les autres. C'est un critère important.
Ouais, bah oui, parce que tu crées des ondes négatives, des contrôles.
Attaché à des trucs. Attaché à des... Ah non.
Ouais.